Hi, this is Jason Wampler with another episode of The Rocket Minute. This guy is turning out to be a real clownfish. It was my level 2 experiment. Say hi, Valencia. Oh, she's going in the window. Say hi, Paxton. And she's going on the TV. This guy right here is turning out to be a real circus freak. The biggest complaint I have with it, was my level 2 certification. And I got to be honest with you, it's just too heavy to be of practical use. And I guess I'm going to end up either fixing or throwing this motor out. This is a screw-in type motor. That's a buttered up irrigation fitting. And inside, rusty tube. There's a lot of things about this rocket I don't like. That's another irrigation fitting with mating female MPT threads for that. My goodness, I cannot find those PVC fittings or PVC motors that I made, and that just bothers the daylights out of me. And this is my level 2 certification rocket. This guy is a J motor, a 38 millimeter J motor housing, and I was talking about something called anodized aluminum. This is paper. This is aluminum transition. This is paper again. My pants are falling down my butt because I have no butt. Ladies, don't ever complain about having too much of a butt. Feel sorry for people who don't have butts at all. And it's going to be quite tall. So, and that's pretty much that. I think I'm satisfied with its overall length. But anyway, let's see. What I wanted to talk about is a couple of things. Number one, anodized aluminum. It's a special type of aluminum. It's T6061, Thomas-6061 aluminum that's been heat treated. Anodization is kind of I think it's an electrical type. I think it's a type of heat treatment of aluminum that involves electricity using anodes. But it's extruded, which means it's seamless. It's fairly thick walled. It's probably about, it's not 1/4, it's about 3/16. And the stuff is flexible, but when you go to cut it, the stuff is harder to cut than steel. It's basically harder and stronger than stainless, definitely stronger than cast iron. Cast iron is actually very easy to cut. It's a very, very tough material, and it's ideal if you can get your hands on it. If it's ideal for what I call SERMs, single-use rebuildable motor system, single-use rebuildable motors. I know it's an oxymoron. The casing you can build a motor. I'll show you how to do that later. You can use the motor and you can fly the rocket with the motor, and then if you can recover the rocket successfully, you find and recover the rocket, you get the motor out, you can husk it, bore it out, and clean it up inside and out, and reuse the motor casing. There's a variety of different ways to rebuild a motor, a sugar motor, or sucrose, or corn syrup motor with a delay grain and epoxy and wood dowels, or if you want, you can use graphite or phenolic rods for the nozzles, etc., etc. But single-use rebuildable motors, SURMS, is what I've invented. That's my laundry. I've got to get that started. These are all my extra stuff. But anyway, I'm really excited about this level 2 effort, and this is it. This is going to be its length. The motor section, the tail end where the motor is. This is the top tube right here. That's it right there. It's got a little patchy patch on the side. I'm not worried about that. I need to find a coupling to fit in the inner diameter of this motor tube, or not the motor tube, excuse the body tube. And this is the main body. That's the transition support. This is where the fins are going to go on this particular section. And I'm going to use rings, O-rings, machined O-rings out of Mylar. And this is good stuff. This is good plastic. It's definitely better than plywood. It's the same weight, but it's not grainy. It's easier to machine, and it's a type of plastic that's high impact. It has structural strength and flexibility. It machines and cuts very well. I got it for free. I'm going to use that for bulkhead rings for the body tube, for the recovery section, and I'll show you how to build a recovery section with a design that's integrated with the transition tube itself. I just cooked that one up a couple days ago. But the bulkhead rings will be centering this transition to that transition and that transition. And then, of course, bulkhead rings here to center the motor tube with using an oversized screw lock type system. I'm disappointed in this motor. This is a stainless steel motor. I'm just probably going to end up tossing it because I don't even like it. Anyway, so that's that. So that's my story. So there you go. Boy, this phone's camera is auto attitude adjustment. It's interesting. You know, smartphones these days are just incredible. Here's my kitty's sandboxes. We don't need to see that. There's my laundry. I got to start that right now. We don't need to see that either. Here's some stuff that I'm going to go ahead and this stuff right here. I'm just going to go ahead and slate these. Oh, there they are. Where in the world? Boy, I guess it must be dementia. I want to talk to you about the cost of materials as well. You know, there's a website called Craigslist. I'm sure everybody's heard about it. They're international now. Craigslist on the for sale button has a section called free stuff. And I've got to tell you, you know, if you hit the free stuff section once a week and you really peruse and you know what you're doing, I'll show you what to look for rocket building supplies. You know, I'm going to a place in Carson today. I'm going to be picking up a bunch more Mylar, and I'm getting more Mylar sheets. I picked up about probably 12 sheets of Mylar yesterday from this guy who's retiring from the sign business. That's this stuff I showed you right here, and he's just giving it away. I went to Long Beach, which is Bellflower, which is right, I guess, northeast of Long Beach, or just east of Long Beach. And I went to a guy who's an upholsterer, and you know, they wind automotive upholstery on these cardboard tubes. Well, I mean, they were ragged, but these cardboard tubes are over, you know, in excess of 8 and 10 feet tall. So you just cut off the frayed edges. You avoid anything that's been outdoors because it is paper, and you look for bending and warpage, and you just try to check and pick things out. Kind of like going to the grocery store and looking for good food. You know, you go to the produce section, you want to get, you know, good avocados, good bananas, good grapes, you know, good apples, good potatoes, stuff with a good shape and a lot of surface tension to it. But anyway, so here's the concept. This aluminum tube and that aluminum tube came from what I would best describe as a very, very, very large curtain rod. And I was so ecstatic because it was high-grade aluminum in several sections, and I picked it up as soon as I saw it, and I cut it up into sections because I knew I was going to be able to use it for rockets, the transition sections for motor tubes, motor tube housings, et cetera, et cetera. So I jumped right on it. That was probably about 3 months ago, but I just love this stuff, and I still have remnants of it. Those are remnants of it now. So in future videos, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a list of things that you need to look for that you can get for free on Craigslist free stuff. And I'll tell you right now, all you have to do is have a car, you know, put some gas in it and just drive around, and you can find this stuff. You can find this stuff at no cost to you. Now, I wanted to go outside. I'm going to do another quick video where I'm just going to show you how much stuff I got yesterday. It probably took me about 3 hours. I did have to go to Carson for the Mylar sheet. I have more of these in my vehicle, my little beat up 91 Toyota truck, or Toyota Corolla station wagon. And this stuff is just grand. Mylar is great for fins. It's not as strong as G10, but it's not plexiglass either. One thing I did want to warn you about, if you decide to use plexiglass for any application on a rocket, be very careful. Be sure to get the plexiglass that has a kind of like a white opaque tinting to it. Either that, or maybe just steer away from plexiglass altogether and get like sheets of Teflon, sheets of Garolite, which is also called Bakelite. Garolite XX Bakelite. It's black. It's a relative. It's a black carbon relative of phenolic. So get Garolite XX, get phenolic, or get Teflon sheets, or get the type of plastic that's flexible, the type of plastic that's used, and I will show you, because I think I have it here, the bucket. This is my food bucket. Oh, that reminds me, I need to take that with me because I'm going shopping today. This is what I put my food in. This is, I don't know, this is, I live in an industry, or I live in an area where there's large ethnic groups, including, the white European Americans. This plastic from this bucket is exceptional. It's tough, it's flexible. The thing is, for the plastic you're going to use for the rockets, for the bulkheads, or the fins, for anything that's subsonic, my level 2 will more than likely be subsonic. I mean, I'm thinking it will. I'm not going to big rocket with little J motor. For subsonic rockets, anything under 700 miles an hour that's going to reach less than maybe 5,000 feet of altitude. If you use plastic for the fins or the bulkhead rings, I have to decline that too. Boy, these guys are really active. Then you need to be sure of your type of plastic you use. I'm thinking plexiglass is just not a really good idea because it's simply too brittle. This is the type of plastic you want to use. It has enough strength to hold its shape. It's flexible. It's impact proof and scratch resistant. It's impact resistant, scratch resistant. It has a long shelf life. It has a fairly thick gauge to it. I don't know if plastic is measured in gauge or mil, but the thing is, the stuff it is kind of thin, but you can use it. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to use it. I'm going to be setting up just a small studio. I do have a little cash at the beginning of the month, and I'm going to set things up to where I can use this phone on a stand, and you actually see my ugly face with my glasses on and everything. Maybe I'm not going to wear my glasses because I can't see with them. I can't see without them. But these type of buckets, I'll show you how to cut them up and make sheets, and then start cutting up the sheets for what do they call it? For bulkhead rings, for centering ring pieces, for centering rings. And then we'll start working on how to make layers of, I'm just showing my laundry and Valencia. Hi, Valencia. We'll start showing you how to make plugs for nose cones. Now that's difficult and time consuming. It's a very, very complicated process. But, this is supposed to be a series of instructional videos to help you build, high-powered model rockets for your levels 1, 2, and 3 certification. And that's kind of the aim of the Rocket Minute, is to do that. So that's pretty much that. This is my food bucket. I'm going food shopping. I'm doing laundry right now. I'm a single individual. Women are beautiful, but I just don't have any time for a relationship with a nice girl at this time. But anyway, so that's pretty much that. There's one other thing I wanted to show you, and these are test motors. I like these guys. That the plastic is really, really ugly. I gotta clean it up, but I have to budget my time. I only have certain times of the day when I can actually be working on the rockets. The other times I'm either shooting videos, editing videos, or taking care of life. But this is a oh my goodness. Let me clean this off. This is a motor that I really do need to clean up, but it's an MPT thread, and thank goodness. I'm having a hard time working the camera here. If you can see it, it's a little messy. The point being, you can use this motor tube to test rocket motor designs and rocket motor propellant formulas. And a Schedule 40 But, if you don't care about aesthetics, you don't need to go across it and even up the pant legs, as the saying goes. But, with me, I'm going to show you some techniques on how to clean up the MPT threads, clean up the end of the snout. You need yourself a little collection of Vaseline, which I'm going to go buy at the 99-cent store, along with some more kitty litter and laundry soap. Actually, not today, though. I'll get the kitty litter and the Vaseline today. I was going to get, and a stand for my phone so I can set up the studio. But this is pretty much it. So this motor is long enough. The interior diameter is probably going to make it an I-200 with a delay grain. Probably, there's really no such thing as anything larger than an I-200, I don't think. But I think this would almost be an I-225. Total impulse, by the way, is the pressure, the force, the amount of pressure in pounds per square inch the rocket motor is exerting at the nozzle, which just doesn't have one, but that is the business end right there, times the amount of time that the rocket motor burns. I tell you, these people just will not leave me alone. That's called total impulse. So total impulse is burn pressure times duration of burn. That's total impulse, and that's how the strength of a rocket motor is measured. Anyway, so that's that. I tell you, these telemarketers are just driving me nuts. That is the third call I fielded while I'm shooting a video, and I don't know if they're trying to make me upset or what, but I find it to be very, very, very annoying, and I certainly do wish that these morons would leave me alone. I don't suppose that anybody's ever going to answer that prayer anytime soon. I'm just kind of going through this stuff. I think I'm just going to go ahead and let some stuff go. I don't really want to deal with steel. I don't want to deal with these guys. So, guys, there is some stuff you're going to end up throwing out. But anyway, this has been the Rocket Minute, and Valencia is getting a little bit too big for that litter box. And there's Paxton right there. Paxton and Valencia, they get along like two peas in a pod. It's a long political story. Kitty politics are interesting. It's a lot like human politics. Paxton, that kitty right there, is the daughter of another cat I call Nora. Now, Nora doesn't like her anymore because this other cat Valencia is going pee right now. I gave Paxton to Valencia and took her away from Nora, her mother. Now Nora, her mother, doesn't like her. You'll meet Nora later. But, I've always maintained that if you have more than two cats in your house, you're going to experience what's called cat politics or kitty politics. Real interesting. Cats, they're in some ways just as smart as human beings. And when you get that level of intelligence, or you deal with that level of intellect and interactive and social dynamics, you're going to get something like that. Anyway, there's my sparse little office, my awful carpet, which in desperate dire need of cleaning, which I might do this month. And I got a million things to do. Okay, so we'll talk to you guys later. This has been another installment of the Rocket Minute. That is the little circus clown rocket. And the only thing I think I'm going to use is that aluminum transition. Otherwise, I'm going to cut the dumb thing up. Anyway, talk to you guys later. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.